Department stores are not just large retail spaces. They are behavioral systems disguised as buildings. Their design reflects a careful response to social, economic, and psychological constraints that existed long before the first escalator carried shoppers between floors. Before department stores, commerce was fragmented and personal. Shops specialized narrowly. Transactions were conversational. Prices were flexible. Buying something meant engaging directly with a seller who controlled access to goods. This system worked, but it placed social pressure on the buyer. Entering a shop implied intent. Browsing without buying was awkward. Touching items required permission. Comparison shopping was time-consuming and conspicuous. The problem was not access to goods. It was access to choice without obligation. Department stores emerged to solve that problem. By consolidating many categories into a single space, they reduced the effort of moving between sellers. But more importantly, they changed the rules of interaction. Goods were displayed openly. Prices were posted. Salespeople were present but not dominant. The store, not the clerk, mediated the transaction. This shift removed negotiation from everyday buying. Fixed pricing replaced haggling. Standardized returns replaced personal discretion. Shoppers no longer needed to perform competence or confidence to participate. This neutrality mattered. It allowed people to enter without knowing exactly what they wanted. It allowed comparison without embarrassment. It allowed indecision. The architecture reinforced this role. Wide aisles prevented congestion and confrontation. Open sightlines made movement feel free rather than directed. Departments were separated enough to feel distinct, but close enough to encourage wandering. Vertical movement played a role too. Escalators and elevators turned shopping into a journey. You didn't just enter, buy, and leave. You moved through space, encountering options along the way. Time stretched. This stretching of time was intentional. The longer people stayed, the more they saw. The more they saw, the more likely they were to discover something unexpected. Discovery replaced procurement. The department store also redistributed trust. Instead of trusting individual sellers, customers trusted the institution. Returns could be handled by policy. Quality was implied by association. Responsibility moved upward, away from individual interactions. This institutional trust made scale possible. Shoppers no longer needed relationships with dozens of specialists. The store curated on their behalf. Choice expanded, but decision-making felt manageable because it occurred within a controlled environment. The realization often comes when comparing department stores to what came after. Online shopping removes physical wandering. Specialty boutiques restore intimacy. Big box stores optimize speed. But department stores occupy a middle space, neither rushed nor personal. They are designed for uncommitted presence. That is the aha moment. Department stores are not optimized for efficiency. They are optimized for tolerance of uncertainty. They allow people to be unsure, to browse without pressure, to compare without consequence. They turn shopping into a low-risk exploration rather than a task. This is invisible design operating at architectural scale. The building absorbs social friction, so the customer doesn't have to. The layout guides behavior without instruction. The environment invites time to be spent rather than money to be spent immediately. That is why department stores feel different from other retail spaces. They are not just selling goods. They are selling a way to exist among choices without being forced to choose right away. And because that experience feels natural, we rarely notice how carefully it was constructed.